In Somalia, funeral processions have begun for the victims of Sunday's attack, which left over 300 dead. Authorities say the toll could rise as recovery efforts continue, and some people are still missing. Overwhelmed hospitals in Mogadishu struggle to assist hundreds of badly wounded victims. More than 70 critically injured people were being airlifted for treatment abroad as international aid begins to arrive. Saturday's blast in the heart of the capital, Mogadishu, was the deadliest attack Somalia has ever experienced. There's been no claim of responsibility so far, but the Somali president has blamed the Al-Shebaab terror group for the tragedy.
This was a tragic incident, and it's a sign that Al-Shabaab continues to target innocent civilians. The Somali public needs to know now more than ever of the group's evil plans. Today, it has once again attacked a civilian-populated area.
Farmajo urged his countrymen to join in the fight against the terrorist group that is threatening peace and stability there. On Sunday, a mournful crowd gathered near the scene expressing solidarity with the victims' families and calling on the government to fight back extremists. Somalia has been the scene of regular attacks by Al-Shabaab militants in recent years. The Al-Qaeda-linked terrorists aim to topple the UN-backed government in the Horn of Africa nation. Investigative journalist Tony Gosling joins us now from Bristol to offer us more insight on that story. Sir, welcome to the program. The question is, would further assistance from the international community towards the UN-backed government of Somalia prevent incidents like the ones that happened yesterday from happening?
Well, look, this Saturday's attack, I think actually Mohammed Abdullah Farmajo, the president of Somalia, needs to get some better advisors, because his words blaming this immediately on Al-Shabaab really need to be questioned. I think we need to look at for a start, Al-Shabaab's attacks, almost always they claim them. They're much, much smaller scale than this. A car bomb which kills a few people, that sort of attack. And they don't actually have the means and the motive to have carried out this attack. What makes me suspicious is when the whole of the Western press all says this is an Al-Shabaab attack. First of all, what is the motive of Al-Shabaab just blowing up randomly, killing 300 people, injuring 500 in the middle of Mogadishu, except as a threat to the country? Also, many people have been saying that they don't have the means, they don't actually have the expertise in explosives and the ability to create bombs like this. I would suspect actually that this is much more likely to have, in fact some people have been saying this, they must have had assistance from outside. From where exactly outside? Because there are all sorts of other interests out there that want to destabilize Somalia. One of them, by the way, is Donald Trump. He's recently approved sending US troops to Somalia. And I would suggest that potentially this is just simply the kinds of organized crime mafia tactics that we've seen from the United States over the years, that you need our protection now because you've got a real problem in your country. So this enables to oil the wheels of getting those US troops into Somalia. Now, of course, Somalia is right near Yemen, so there might be a Saudi interest as well in getting American troops into Somalia.
Can you further elaborate on what it is that these players would be gaining from further destabilizing Somalia?
Well, one organisation that we never hear of in the Western press at all is AFRICOM. That is the US unified command structure based in Stuttgart in Germany, which carries out the Pentagon's orders for Africa. And I would like to hear a statement from them as to what they know about this attack, because they are constantly keeping that part of the world under signals intelligence and satellite surveillance. So they know about movements of all sorts of militants that even the Somali government doesn't know. So the motive would simply be, as it's been in so many other countries, like big bombs that we've seen. This one is rather like the ones we've seen in Kabul and in Baghdad. The good old American program of the war on terror,
Sure.
which is to destabilize countries in order to get their presidents crying out for US support. And this is exactly what we saw in the 1980s under Operation Gladio in Europe, which was run by the CIA and MI6 to blow up innocent civilians in European countries in order to really get them behind US foreign policy. So I actually think that there needs to be some real re-looking at this to see whether it actually is Al-Shabaab that's done it.
Thank you very much, sir. Investigative journalist Tony Gosling joining us from Bristol.